CEO of CB Executive Protection, which provides security services for stars like Cardi B, Jay-Z. Chris, thank you so much for being here. So these new reports that security guards were actually not vetted, that there were potentially people who showed up and didn't even have to provide identification. What was your first thought when you heard this?
Well, it's very disheartening to hear those type of things. And it's something that we deal with on a regular basis. Being that now, from my standpoint of being that I'm on stage and I get to see out into the crowd and see how things go, for me, it always starts with the outline defense, and the perimeter is always important because that's where your security breach happens first. So to hear that this type of stuff is going on, it starts out there. The checks are not done properly. I'm not here to discredit the services of people on the outsource, but definitely have to do a better job of making sure that they vet the people that they're hiring and make sure they're just not there for the concert,
right? That
they're there to do the job,
right?
And we run into a lot of things where the people around the stage at the bottom are really there to watch the show, and it doesn't help us in our line of work.
Right. Yeah. Security guards hired and eager to be a part just because they want to see a free show with a very
Correct.
Popular name versus actually doing the job. But a desperation to get enough people out there with a crowd this size of 50,000. I can only imagine that was probably a very big challenge. We want to play a soundbite, Chris, from our interview. Brian Enton spoke to one man who claims to be a security guard for the Astroworld event. I want to ask you what you think after you hear this.
Okay.
Do you think there were enough security officers there?
I think it was enough security officers. I just don't believe that they took the right, route of hiring security.
What do you mean by that?
It was freelancers. It wasn't people that was used to securing nothing.
Well, you're saying you got the job through a text message.
How I got the job through a text message. When I got there, I knew it was like a temp service type of situation because they had a line of like 200 people.
So hundreds of people were reportedly hired for this event of 50,000 people. In your experience, what do you make of what you just heard in terms of the preparation required and that was maybe lacking?
Okay, so I would say that they didn't have enough people at all. I don't think there's ever enough security for any event. Everyone I go to, I've seen it get through. I think they do okay moving people around and make it look like there's a lot of people, but I think there's definitely a need for more security on the ground, on the gates. When you have a festival like that, you have so many people coming through. I think a lot of times they're just trying to speed up the process. I don't care how long it takes. If you've ever been to an airport, they don't care if you make your flight or not. They have to do their security protocols. And I think if they complete their protocols, it'd be a lot safer for everyone to attend the event.
One more question because we're out of time, but I'm thinking about you and what you first said when you said you were often on stage near the performer. Obviously, it would have been helpful to have a security guard standing near where the crew was, where we actually have seen concert goers try to get the attention of someone on stage to stop the show. Do you think in your mind, again, not speculating, but just from your experience, wouldn't it have been a good idea to have security detail right at the edge of the stage where concert goers were pressed up against those barriers closest to Travis Scott?
To be honest with you, there is always security. It's called the pit. Security is always in the pit. The problem is their eyes are going this way towards the stage as opposed to that way towards the crowd. So sometimes guys in my area where we're on the stage, we contact them to tell them, hey, look right there or look over there. And it takes a minute or two, or the girls that's in the front screaming for help, they're not paying attention. It's ridiculous at this point how that happens.
Yeah, and so many questions about exactly what went wrong, what the breakdown was. Thank you, Chris Britto, for your insights here. We appreciate your time this morning.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.